What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm going to be bringing you a little disassembly and knife maintenance of the Civivi Mini Asticus. I've had this one for about 6 months, and I like to do a little disassembly and checkup just to make sure everything is on the up and up, make sure everything's nice and lubed and clean. So I'll go ahead and jump into that with y'all today. You're going to want a nice set of tools. I recommend Weehaw bits, and I do have the Scout driver, but you can actually get the stubby Weehaw driver if you scroll down to the bottom. In the description, I have those tools linked for you just in case you need them. So to get the pocket clip off, you're going to need the T6, and I am trying a different angle today just to see how that works for everybody. It helps that I can still see, but it's a little bit easier to get both of my hands in here. And I might actually, now that I'm reaching across, I might move the tripod just a little bit this way. All right. So go ahead and take your two T6 screws out from the pocket clip. You can go ahead and set all that aside. You will not need this anymore. That will take both of the pocket clip side bolts out. What you'll want to do next is grab yourself the T8 or switch to your T8 bolt and go ahead and remove the pivot screw. And go ahead and set that to the side. You can go ahead and now at this point remove your scale. Set that to the side as well. And then what you'll want to do is go ahead and I like to hold the blade in place and lift up on the lock bar. Oh, I'm just realizing underneath the scale, I did not know that there is another bolt here, and it is a T6, so go ahead and remove that as well. Set that aside. It looks like it has a little Loctite on it. All right, lift up on your lock bar, and then you'll be able to just kind of work it off of the barrel spacers and the lanyard bar. All right, so make note, I know it did pop, but you can tell that the closed side of the caged bearings are on the outside, so just make note of that for reassembly. Go ahead and remove the blade. And then, ooh, pocket clip trying to hang on to it. Get your other bearing collar out of the pivot. Grab your cloth and go ahead and give everything a wipe down. You can use a little bit of rubbing alcohol to make sure that everything comes clean. There you go. You can see they do have a track spot here for the detent, but it is not on the other side of the Damascus. Once you got your blade clean, go ahead and set that aside and go ahead and proceed to clean off your bearings. Once you have the bearings cleaned off, grab your favorite oil. I know a lot of people like KPL. I like using Hops gun oil. I trust it. If it's good enough for my pew pew, I feel like it's really good enough for my slicey dicey. What I like to do, if you haven't seen my maintenance videos before, I just like to put a couple of drops in here. I apologize for the lighting. It's just too hot to be in the garage today. It's like 90 something, 95, something like that. So I'm doing this inside with only one of the lights, so the lighting's a little bad. I might try to turn it up. I also like to take and put just a little triangle of drops on the track. Oops, I missed over here all together. There we go. And then I take the oil and I use my fingers to kind of work it in as opposed to letting it just kind of drip off, and then I'll drop it with the smooth side of the cage out. I will go ahead and bring the, actually I almost missed a step. I'll go ahead and just drop a couple pieces of oil or a couple drops of oil on the pivot. Doesn't need to be rubbed out. The blade will work it in. Then I'll go ahead and reinstall the blade, making sure that's nice and secure. I will do the triangle on this side just to save me from trying to do it on the skeletonized scale liner, or yeah, skeletonized liner. Then I still have oil on my fingers. I'll put just a little less on it this time because I do have oil on the finger still. So just a couple drops, And then you can kind of feel as you're rubbing it between your fingers, you can feel the balls moving around. So same thing on this side, smooth side out, drop that on in. I just rub the excess oil off of my fingers so I can touch everything else. I'll go ahead and give this a little bit of a clean to make sure that the lock bar looks good as well, that there's nothing on there to make it have any type of lock stick. And then what I'll do is just bring it up and give it a little dab. Looks like it's maybe on there. There it goes. So just a little dab, just enough to kind of make that feel smooth. You can go ahead, reinsert the liner, the skeletonized liner here. Just like so. Pull up on the lock bar a little just to make sure you have good tension. And I actually already see the barrel has fallen out. So let me go ahead and pull that back off. So hopefully you'll remember from that. There we go. And the stop pin fell out as well. So we'll go ahead and reinstall. Struggling to get that stop pin in. There we go. Reinstall the stop pin. Reinstall the lanyard barrel. A little hard to do with big hands. Fail number one. Can't even pick it up with these big hands. All right, let's try to get it in there. Okay, now you can reinstall the skeletonized liner. I always, again, just pull up just a little bit to make sure that that's locked in there. You will go ahead and grab the inner bolt that was, there we go, inside the scale. Make sure that you put it back in the correct order. And tighten that all the way down. Hand tight, don't over tighten it. Grab your scale, throw that on top of your mini Asticus. Go ahead, and I would at this time recommend grabbing whatever medium Loctite you prefer, liquid or this here glue type. Grab just a little dab on the tip. You do not need a lot. That is actually a bit too much. And then I always start by hand. That bolt underneath the scale is going to actually hold it in there nicely. You can go ahead and take this all the way down until it starts to tighten. Give it just a little bit extra. And then what you'll want to do is make sure that you have the correct length bolts in the right spot here. So the one that's longer should be on the top because that actually goes into the barrel. And then the one that is shorter should be the one that goes on the bottom. All right. These again are both going to be T6s. So go ahead. I always go down until it's getting a little bit of resistance and then I stop. That way if I need to slide the pocket clip a little bit to make sure that the holes are lined up, that I'm able to do that very easily. Then you can go ahead and get your other bolt started. Once you have that started to get tightened, just go ahead and tighten it down with a little bit of a turn. Remember, these are T6s and they're shallow, and you don't want to strip the bolt head and you don't want to strip the scaled liner, skeletonized liner. Go ahead and check your centering. Make sure that it looks centered. Check your blade play. Just a hint of blade play, so we'll give it a little bit more of a turn. And then what I recommend, if you did use Loctite and if you have a smooth scale, I recommend that you let it sit overnight. That way the Loctite will cure and you don't have to worry about whether or not it's going to come loose. So I still have just a little bit of blade play. I'm going to turn it just a little at a time till I feel the blade play is almost gone. All right, let's see what the action feels like. Action feels about the same. I know I'm looking at it off camera, but as you can see there, hopefully the blade is centered. So everything's reassembled. Gonna give it a couple flicks just to make sure that that bolt's not backing out on me. And then again, just gonna make sure, still moving just a little bit. And then I'm gonna back it off just a hair. Yeah, that got rid of it. Little tight still, hold on. And that's pretty much what you'll be doing. You'll just make minor adjustments as you go. Everything's still centered. Action feels good. Yep, that feels about right. And has just a hint of blade play. Let me check. That was a little loose. Make sure it's got proper support, and then maybe just one tweak back the other way. All right. All right, I don't feel it skipping. No lock, no blade play, and it is centered. With everything reinstalled, I have to say I am still really enjoying the mini Asticus. Really nice knife. Really thin hollow grind out on the tip. Super duper thin behind the edge. Really deep hollow grind. Nice 9CR steel. I love this steel. It's a very good kitchen type steel. Nice wedge out on the tip. Again, it's a very slicey knife. It has really good ergonomics. You can get it with the wood or you can get it with the G10. It has a reversible deep carry pocket clip. And again, you know, I don't use this one a ton. This one's more of a gent's knife for me because I like the Damascus with the wood. And I really think that that looks really, really good. Can't get this lighting to work quite like I want. I think this is probably as good as I'm going to get on the inside. But again, I really think it looks nice. I think it is very unassuming. I know some folks say that a gent knife is a two-handed opening knife, but I really think something that's dressed up like this doesn't really seem tactical to me, or doesn't seem like a defensive weapon. I don't know how else to describe it, but I really do like this. I carry this with my organizers. This will fit in the fifth pocket. It does have a nice deep carry pocket clip. It does fit down in the jeans really well, and the wood scales are holding up really nice. So, you know, I really just cannot recommend this particular knife enough. Like, I think if you're looking for something small to throw in an organizer or a pouch, or to fifth pocket carry, or if you like a smaller blade that has really, you know, it's very neutral ergonomics, it's a really slicey blade for an EDC. I really do like this one a lot. I think the if I recall correctly, I believe the G10 variant comes with their 10CR 18 MOV. I think is the correct code. I'll throw that on the screen if it's not right. But if you enjoyed today's disassembly and maintenance, and just like a kind of short long-term update of how the knife's doing, the 9CR, really easy to maintain. Again, what I'm doing when I'm opening packages, cutting string, you know, light duty task with this knife, light to medium duty task with this knife, I'm just stropping it up at the end of the day, and it has kept a really good edge that way. 9CR, again, really easy to maintenance, and Civivi does a really good job. And that 9CR, you know, what can I say? It's a great budget steel, and this is a good value. So if you enjoyed today's disassembly and maintenance, and if you enjoyed the kind of long-term update on this knife, do me a favor, leave a like. It really does help me with the channel. I appreciate the support as well. Links are down in the description for this knife, for the tools. If you scroll past the disclaimer, all of that, like recommended knives, recommended tools, where you can go for new arrivals and upcoming, all of that, I've linked that down there for you in hopes of helping you find whatever it is that you need. So trying to make things easy on you. I appreciate all the support. If you are enjoying the content, think about subscribing if you're not already subscribed. If you are subscribed, thanks for the support. I really do appreciate it. You all are awesome. I hope you have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace.